What's up, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's TV reviews, whatever you want to call it. We're in the middle of the coronavirus thing right now, so I'm trying to find stuff to review, and you know what? I'm going to talk about Westworld. If you like what you see, of course, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next, and comment below on any video that you watch on my channel. So this is a little more easy, go relaxing type of review. It takes a lot to set up and stuff like that, but I have been wanting to talk about a TV show for a while. I was going to do Watchmen, that kind of fell through. And I was like, let's talk about Westworld because I'm still watching it. I'm still just as confused as I was from the last season. The first episode of this season was it was confusing. It didn't make a lot of sense. It has Aaron Paul and Evan Rachel Wood. They're doing things that just I'm so kind of off the radar. What is even happening? Like, it's trying to be meta, but it's also trying to be a unique take on the noir sci-fi stuff. And it just, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I want more Westworld, but it just, after the second season with this confusing and as plot derivative and just boring and just like, it was going all over the place. And, with the first season being as good as it was, hopefully the third season would get off of that second season slump, which seems to happen in a lot of TV shows. So, the first episode of the third season was okay. I know a lot of people liked it because it was going into some different content and territory that has not been done before in the Westworld series. But then we got episode 2, which is called The Winter Line. This is more my style, what I want from Westworld. I want the intrigue. I want the the box, the mystery in a box type scenario. I want to see things progress forward. A lot of people didn't like this episode, which was really surprising. I thought it was fun. I thought it was entertaining. I think Thandie Newton is an amazing actress. I think she's fantastic in this series. And I think it's just a very fun, very fluid episode that brings back Luke Hemsworth. It has, of course, has Jeffrey Wright in it. It brings back Rodrigo Santoro. It's so much good stuff. And then it introduces us to Vincent Cassel, who is like, he looks like he's maybe the next Anthony Hopkins, that he worked with Anthony Hopkins. No one knows because it's only the second episode of this 8-episode season. I don't know. I really, really enjoyed it. And I liked it because Thandie Newton is very good as Maeve, as giving us a very structured look into this world. She is now at the point where she is free of her, her chains of her, society where she was being controlled by Delos and stuff like that. And I really like that she is kind of our surrogate for this whole entire series because Evan Rachel Wood's character, as good as she is off doing her own thing, and she's more of just a revenge bot compared to what the Maeve character is, which is more of a outgoing and more realized character than I think even Evan Rachel Wood's character is of Dolores. And this episode deals with the character of Maeve basically trying to figure out where she's at, why she's in this thing called War World. And I think that's kind of fascinating. It basically leads her to waking up. She sees she's in like a Nazi occupied Italy city or something like that, or France or wherever she's at. She is in the middle of interrogating this Nazi soldier who's chained to the bed. She realizes that she's alive again, and she doesn't know why she's alive again. But Rodrigo Santoro's character pops up, and he's completely changed. He's completely different. He's part of this story that's running where they have to escape the Nazi-occupied France because they have a map that they need to get to whatever the resistance, I guess you could say. And so they go traveling across the Italian countryside or French countryside, whatever you want to call it. And it's so nice to see the two characters together because they had such a great relationship in the second season that I just love seeing it. But then you realize that the Rodrigo Santoro character is basically just another character that's being used to create this story. So he is no longer who he was in the first and second seasons. And she understands that, and she leaves off to her own. And this is where we get the character of Lee Sizemore, who's played by Simon Quarterman. And it's awesome to see him back because, of course, we know he died in the second season. She and, of course, Lee's character have a relationship because of what he was able to help her do. he has a way for her to get to see her daughter again by going through the forge and stuff like that. And they end up back in the forge base where, you know, Dolores killed a bunch of people. We see like the old remnants of the Delos and stuff like that. And I love their kind of chemistry together. I love the ideas behind what they're doing, because Lee's character is in charge of whatever this Delos is with Warworld. We see as they're walking through the Delos underground where they like refix everything. We see DB Weiss and David Benioff and the dragon from Game of Thrones, which is a nice nod. People were like, "Oh, it's Game of Thrones all over again." It's a really cool, fun nod. I don't think it really means anything. I don't think there's a Game of Thrones world, Westeros world, or something like that. I just thought it was a cool Easter egg to have in the show. But we come to find out basically that everything that Maeve is dealing with in this episode is complete construct of a simulation. And the way the simulation plays out is the screen turns into a widescreen anamorphic lens style show where you have the black bars on bottom and top. And that's really, really clever, because it gives you kind of an idea and a concept of what you need to be watching out for. And she's able to manipulate the world. She's able to throw like a head of a statue, and like you know, it stops midair. She gets these two people that are working to kind of figure out a math problem that's unsolvable. So she's able to like corrupt the system, and it gets to a point where she's able to even convince Lee that Lee is part of this construct, that he's not actually real, even though he's trying to admit that, he's trying not to believe that. And I love that. I love the idea that it's trying to twisting and turning your logic and sense of trying to figure out what exactly is going on in Westworld, because you have to find a way to push the show forward, and that is what the Winter Line, I feel, is doing. Yes, we're going to the LA techno noir LA stuff, and you know, with Dolores and the Aaron Paul character, but I think giving us kind of a new form of what is trying to go on, I think that's really fascinating. I think that's really unique and really exciting, and it leads into some like really cool sequences where Maeve basically uses the map thing that the Rodrigo Santoro character is to basically corrupt the system to find her way out of the system, so that she can use to get the little because of her bot was killed and stuff like that, so the mechanism or the machine or the computer program that's inside her head has been attached to whatever it is. We don't know the company at this point. And she uses the little, you know, digital keypad or whatever to use a robot that's being like controlling everything to keep everything in check. And she uses it to basically try to escape. And it's a really fascinating sequence because the robotic CGI is fantastic looking. I mean, the one thing I can never complain about with HBO and stuff and what they're doing is they have a really good way of using CGI effectively and using it really well. And it looks like they put a lot of money into this season as well, just with the landscape and stuff like that. Well, she doesn't escape. The robot dies because it's shot to death, and she wakes up in this house, whatever it is, and we see Vincent Cassel's character. And Vincent Cassel is, like I said, he's a programmer. He's the one running this construct, but we don't know why he is. But because Maeve is kind of free of her shackles, she is trying. Basically, he tasked her with like killing Dolores. And I'm like, that's really interesting, really fascinating. But she's not going to do it because she is her own person. But something has happened where Maeve has basically been, she's been shackled again, and she is unfortunately chained, and she can't do anything. And he has a remote or something like that. It stops her, and you can see like the terror in her face, the sadness in her face. And then the episode ends with that segment. But of course, we have the Jeffrey Wright and the Luke Hemsworth stuff. Jeffrey Wright goes back to Westworld to retrieve Maeve because he's trying to bring her back to help him, like, you know, doing whatever he needs to have done. And it's a really funny segment, a really fun sequence where we find out, of course, as we already know, that Luke Hemsworth is as a robot or whatever, cyborg or whatever you want to call him. And they have like a kind of buddy comedy drama, whatever you want to call it, where they have to infiltrate Delos to find out where Maeve is being held and where she's at. And of course, as Jeffrey Wright's character is Bernard is basically trying to figure out why he's been corrupted and stuff like that. The Luke Hemsworth character fights a bunch of Delos agents and soldiers. Really funny to see, really funny to watch because he's swinging out like an axe back and forth. So it's a lot of fun. They basically can't figure out where Maeve is, and they escape Westworld to go on with their day. And I like how, you know, the Bernard character reprograms Luke Hemsworth's character with a new logic of, you know, save me and protect me, and I think that's a lot of fun. So overall, this episode is just, I think it's a lot of fun. Is it the best of the series? No, but I just think it's an episode that really pushes forward the idea of what Westworld is, which is about human control and the ideas of, you know, unshackling yourself from that human control, and the ideas of what robots will eventually become with sentientism and stuff like that. So I really liked it. I really like I said, the D.B. Weiss and David Benioff stuff was really a lot of fun. It was really entertaining. And it's just a really good episode that really did a lot of stuff. You know, we get to see, like I said, Rodrigo Santoro again. Thandie Newton is fantastic. I'm still kind of wondering what's going on with the Ed Harris character, the Man in Black. Is he alive? Is he dead? Is he still on Westworld? I mean, like I said, we saw him inside a prison or something like that at the very end of the last season. So I'm very interested to see what's going to happen, but pretty much that's it with the Winter Line. Like I said, it's going to lead into some interesting stuff in the third episode with the Tessa Thompson character and what her kind of, you know, struggles with her ideas and stuff like that. But I don't know. I really like the episode. I think Jeffrey Wright is amazing. Thandie Newton's amazing. Vincent Cassel, if you remember from Black Swan, and of course Ocean's 12, is an amazing actor. But yeah, it's a really good episode. I really liked it. If I were to rate it, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Some of the issues is just, it need to be a little bit longer. Some things are a little out of pace and out of whack. But for an episode that is dealing with the ideas and structures behind what Westworld is doing, I enjoyed it. So, but there you go. That is my take on episode 2, the Winter Line. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this episode. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What do you think of the first episode? Like I said, I didn't like it as much because I was a little confused, but maybe it'll work itself better as the season moves along into the 8 episodes. So, but yeah, that's it. That's my take on the Winter Line. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next. And of course, comment below on any video that you watch on my channel. Otherwise, we'll see you on episode 3. Peace out.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out Movie Emporium. I really appreciate it. If you want to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button and the bell at the top. Find out what's coming next for Movie Emporium. Also, check out these 2 videos. They're amazing. I think they're awesome. I think you'll enjoy them too. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.